I am Anil Kumar sharing with you solution of a question from my subscriber Melissa, and I hope its solution will help many others. The question here is, find the intervals of decreasing for f of x equals to 3 over 10 x to the power of 4 minus 4 over 5 x cubed minus 3x squared plus 36 over 5x plus 11. So that's a polynomial. You need to find interval of decreasing. Now Melissa, as you know, interval of decreasing will be in the interval where the derivative of the function is less than 0. It is negative, right? So wherever the derivative of the function is negative, we have decreasing interval. So that should help. You can always pause the video, find the solution, and then check with my solution, correct? Okay, so let's go ahead. So we have this function. We can find the derivative of this polynomial. Derivative is equals to 3 over 10 times x to the power of 4 will be 4x cubed minus 4 over 5. X cubed derivative is 3x squared minus 3 times 2x plus 36 over 5. Now let's simplify this. This goes 5 times. You are left with 2 here. 2 times 3 is 6. So 6 over 5x cubed minus. So we have here 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, so 12 over 5x squared. 3 times 2 is 6 minus 6x. And here we have 36 over 5. Let's take 6 over 5 common. If I take 6 over 5 common, I'm left with x cubed minus 6 over 5 I've taken common, so I'm left with 6 times 2 is 12, 2x squared. 6, this has to be, 6 has been taken common, so I have to multiply this by 5. So we get 5x. 6 times 6 is 36, so we are left with 6 here, right? So you get a cubic function here. To factor, we'll try different values. And what do you really find here? That we are trying to factor this. Possible factors are factors of 6, which is plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 3, and plus minus 6, correct? So let's try the value 1 itself. So if I substitute 1 here, so we are talking about this function now. Let us call this as g of x, okay? So what is g of 1? If I substitute 1 here, I get 1 minus 2 minus 5 plus 6, and that is 7 minus 7, which is 0. That means x minus 1 is a factor. Correct? Since x minus 1 is a factor, we could do synthetic division, right? So let's do synthetic division and find other factors. You could do long division also. So synthetic division, we have less space. It helps. So let's write down these coefficients, which are 1, minus 2, minus 5, and 6. X minus 1 is a factor. 1 gives us 0, so we'll write 1 here and then divide. Bring down the first term, leading coefficient, multiply, write down, add. So when you add, you get minus 1. Multiply minus 1, add minus 6, multiply and add. So you get 0 as expected as the remainder. And that represents x squared minus x minus 6. And that could be factored as product of minus 6, sum of minus 1. So x minus 3 times x plus 2, correct? So therefore, let's get back to our equation now. We did all our calculations. So we'll continue from here. So we're continuing from here. So we are writing f dash x, right? So f dash x is equals to 6 over 5. And this term could be now written as factors of x minus 1 times x minus 3 times x plus 2, right? So that is the derivative. We are looking for decreasing interval So we want to test when, in which interval this function is decreasing, right? So let's take our number line, and on this we'll plot the zeros. The zeros are at -2, +1, and +3. Or let's say these are the zeros, okay? So these zeros are at -2. You can say these are the critical numbers, 1 and 3. Since the leading coefficient is positive, so there are many methods to find the solution from here. What I'm doing here is sketching the curve, which is a cubic function with these zeros. So if I sketch leading coefficient is positive, what I get is kind of like this. You could do different methods to solve at this stage. Now what you clearly see here is when is the function decreasing. That means when is this derivative? This is the graph for the derivative, correct? When is this graph of the derivative less than 0? So it is less than 0 between this interval, correct, and beyond this, in these two intervals. So that gives us the solution that the interval of decreasing is, so what we find is that f dash x is less than 0 in which intervals? From -infinity to -2, union 1 to 3, right? 1 to 3. So that becomes the solution. So we can write down our answer as decreasing in interval as written here. Correct? So that is the solution for the given question. I hope the steps are very clear. Try to go through it once again and understand the process. If some of you haven't done synthetic division, you could do long division at this stage, right? And sketching is always the best way. Otherwise, you could test in different intervals. Taking test points as -3, test point here could be 0, here could be 2 and 4. In whichever interval it is negative, that is your result, and you'll find these two as the intervals. I hope that helps. Feel free to share my videos, post comments, and if you like, that'll be great. Thank you, and all the best.